So our next speaker will be Brenna Lacey with Volk Company. Brenna has over 30 years of experience in the retail market here in Arizona. Her expertise includes all phases of commercial real estate brokerage, including land sales, leasing, tenant representation, and investment sales. She's also very active in the Tucson nonprofit community. Brenna?
Good morning. It's a pleasure to see everyone here this morning. I think back to the old days of the Research Council, and I look at the attendance today, and it's great. I think it's an indication of a vibrant community and a vibrant market, and it just feels good. I also want to say, Zach, after listening to Roger speak a little bit and myself standing up here, as seniors in the business, we are also fun. I took my marching order seriously, which is I only have a short few minutes to speak with you this morning, and I wanted to start with a few statistics about the market. And as Rob was talking about the industrial market, I was thinking we are moving toward, I think we in retail have been moving toward a balance also. My statistics vary slightly from those I saw on the handout on the table this morning, but the trends indicated remain the same in my comments. So overall, according to CoStar, the third quarter vacancy rate was 6.8% for the overall retail market in Tucson Metro. But those vacancy rates vary according to the type of product. For instance, specialty centers are basically at 0%. When you look at power centers, they're at 2%. You look at what's categorized as shopping centers, which is a combination of retail strip, neighborhood centers, other street retail product, that's at 10%. So, that's the inside of the vacancy rate, but overall 6.8%, which is healthy. Absorption for third quarter was up significantly to 480,000 square feet in the retail market. That was a sharp difference with the previous 4 quarters, which were basically very low absorption or no absorption. It's also a reflection of the fact that about 415,000 square feet of new retail was delivered in the third quarter, and generally retail isn't delivered unless it's pretty much occupied. Average rent is an interesting statistic. It was calculated by CoStar at $14.47 per square foot, which represents a 1.8% increase from the third quarter of 2014. So when I say we're reaching a balance, that's part of what I mean. Rents are definitely stabilizing at this point. They're not sharply increasing or decreasing. Rents vary widely, as always, by product type and specific location. It appears we have hit or near a ceiling for the time being, just for the time being. That being said, there's a clear bifurcation of rents between the first-class prime retail locations and those that are not considered that. So in the prime locations, rents are back up to those 30s and 40s, and there's high demand for them from national tenants. We don't have very many of those locations, and there's contest for those spots. And that's versus a very large inventory of less well-located and older buildings that probably account for a good portion of the vacancy rate that I described. Rents, as always, are a function of sales volumes, or rents that can be paid are a function of sales volumes that are projected. So it all really comes down to the business plan, whether it's by the national tenants who keep the numbers pretty tight on what they can pay with their predictions for the Tucson market here. Even if they're doing well in the market, I see conservatism in the numbers that are being projected by the nationals. And unless there's some increase in, I would say, in consumers' ability to spend in our market, or some change that comes into the market that makes people want to go out and spend more money, I think that those rents are going to stay. And I was thinking about this. I want to talk about the largest notable resale transaction in the last 90 days, which was the sale of Northgate Plaza at Grant and Alvernon, which is anchored by Walmart Neighborhood Market. Here's the story of that sale. The sales price was $12.8 million. in October, which was $123 a square foot. It represented a 6.35% cap rate, and the project is 87% occupied. The last time that project was sold was in 2010, which was sold by my office. And at that time, the price was $8.05 million, or $78 a square foot, representing a 9.5% cap rate, and it was 81% occupied. So in that period of time, about 5 years, the occupancy only went up 6%. But obviously because of the cap rates in the market, the price went up $4.75 million. So Jim, another good investment for someone who sold. Now, I was thinking of the Northgate sale as I was reading an article just yesterday about the pension funds making their predictions for the next couple of years. And they are lowering their earnings expectations based on the real estate holdings, because after 5 years of strong real estate returns in the U.S., and given the high values and general cap rate compression that's occurred in the last 5 years, the consensus of the pension fund leadership is that they expect lower returns in property appreciation through 2016 and 2017. So we're going back to the old-fashioned model of increased values are going to come from increased rents, increased occupancy. The cap rates are, with the interest rate environment and with where cap rates have gone thus far, where else? How low can you go, I guess, is the question. Let's jump to some markets, local market activity. I thought I'd focus on the grocer segment because it's very interesting. As many of you know, Albertsons and Safeway got hitched. They slimmed down their locations, not just here, but all over the country. And they sold those units to Haggens, to a group called Haggens. And Haggens is out of the Northwest, and we all asked ourselves, what was Haggens thinking in committing to all these new stores? Because they were going to grow in a very short period of time from 18 stores as a regional grocer to 165 locations. Well, didn't work out so well. Haggens began downsizing in less than 3 months, and now Albertsons is moving back into the market. They want 2 of those 3 locations that were given up to Haggens. So, oh my, I've never seen anything like that. It's really quite a story. Fry's is the leading grocer in the Tucson market, and they have plans to open 2 new stores in the next year in Tucson. Their first store is in 10 years. They haven't opened a store here in 10 years as the leader, which is, I don't know where the time's gone. So they're building a new store at Valencia and Indian Agency Road in that Midvale Park area, which is a great area. And then also 22nd and Houghton, they have a store on the boards. So that's what Fry's is doing. Natural Grocers has entered the market. They're open at Broadway and Kolb. They're under construction at Broadway Village, at Broadway and Country Club, with what should be a very nice store. And they also have plans to open at the southeast corner of Oracle and Orange Road. So we don't get very many new grocers into the market, and they are a smaller format. A very healthy concept, but it's exciting to have a new grocer come into the market. Just as an illustration of how the grocery business is a tough business to make money in, and there's so much competition. And one would think there are grocers who do so well here, why aren't they expanding? And I was thinking of Trader Joe's the other day, because Trader Joe's has very few stores in the Tucson metro area, and each store does amazingly well. Very successful here. But they have no plans to expand in Tucson, even though I, as a local real estate person, can look and say, oh, they're not represented here, they're not represented there. They're not committing their dollars to this market. There's so much opportunity all over the country for these national players that we're not only competing based on the cost of the real estate and the viability of the economics of the sales, but also with their allocation of resources. It's also worth noting that Whole Foods remodeled 2 of their stores in the market, and despite the PR hassles that company has had in the last year or 2, Whole Foods is thriving in those locations, so that's great. The only other area I'll go to, how's my 5 minutes? I don't know. I've got 1 minute left. Okay, so let me very quickly talk about a couple of geographic sectors of the market, because I think what's happened with the compression of available good property is that some of our outlying areas, or what were considered outlying areas, have also almost become like infill locations for some of the retailers, especially those who are already present in Tucson and want to expand. So, Houghton and I-10, extremely active, with a lot of openings planned or already open. Verizon just opened their corporate store out there. AutoZone, Taco Bell, Native Grill, Freddy's, Walmart's doing great, Panda Express is doing great. Plans for new shops, Anodyne Adventures has either broken ground or is breaking ground soon on a whole new shops building out there. Speaks well for the trade area. Oro Valley has had the openings at San Dorado, at first in Oracle, doing very well. They've absorbed all of that. At Steampunk Village, we've had 4 pads remaining for sale for quite some time. 3 of them are going into escrow in the coming days. Very active out there. And then Neaters will be opening at El Corridor at Oracle and Linda Vista. Marana is hopping. I wish I had some numbers on the new outlets. I don't have them yet, but it's very exciting to have that outlet center open, and it certainly provides an avenue for our Mexican tourists to come up more and more often. The expansion of Arizona Pavilions is going to begin. You'll probably see movement in February of next year. There's a plan, TJ Maxx, Petco, Ross, and anyway, okay, I'll jump to Sahuarita very quickly. All the retail that's built in that Walmart section of Sahuarita, it's 100% occupied. So there's a lot of activity for new development in Sahuarita, including the pads at Rancho Sahuarita that are available right now, and one other opportunity across from the Walmart. And last but not least, Board Partners has their plans for the 600,000 square feet at Fashion Park and I-19 in Irvington, which is very active. It's an underserved trade area, in their opinion and in my opinion, so they should have a lot of success there. And I mentioned already that the Fry's is breaking ground over there. So I could talk for much longer. It's a very active market.